What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another one of my videos. Today I'm going to be putting to rest all the conversation on whether Glenn is dead or not. It's zombies, yo. Okay, so as we all know, there's a lot of speculation going around whether Glenn is actually dead or not, and this video I'm going to be trying to give my input on whether he is or not, and I'm going to be showing you guys the facts. Okay, obviously I don't know for sure. I don't work for AMC or The Walking Dead. I'm not a cast member. I don't know if Glenn is dead or not. I'm just going to be showing you guys the facts and why I believe that Glenn is still alive. So the first thing I want to mention is I took a film studies class my freshman year in college, and one of the very first things that I learned is everything in film is deliberate. It's supposed to be there, especially the camera shot. Okay, the camera shot is the most important thing in film, what you see. So the way that they shot this is very important, and they shot it showing only Glenn's head and then the zombies holding the guts and ripping the guts out of what they want us to believe is Glenn's body. Now, when you look closely at this, the very first time you're going to see this, you're going to say, oh my god, Glenn, no, he's dying. You know, you're going to be in shock and you're not actually going to break the film down. But go back and look at it a couple more times. You'll see that it doesn't look like it's Glenn's body that they're ripping it out of it. It looks like it's actually like 6 inches above Glenn's body. And I really don't think The Walking Dead's prosthetics are that bad. So that makes me believe that it's actually Nicholas's body. Also, the guts were coming out of Glenn's chest, and that's just, you know, that doesn't happen, obviously. So that it's Nicholas's body, my guess. Also, Glenn would be bleeding out of the mouth if he were dying. And yeah, so I have a little theory with The Walking Dead, and that is if you do not see the character dying, they don't actually die. And this theory arrives in season 1 with Merle. We don't actually see Merle die. And everyone was thinking Merle was dead, Merle was dead. I'm like, no, we didn't actually see him die. Merle's going to be back. And then it also happened in, season 3 with Carol. Everyone, you know, with Carol and T-Dog, we didn't see Carol for a couple episodes. People are like, oh, Carol's dead. No, we didn't see her die. She's not dead. Also with Andrew, one of the prisoners that Rick just kind of threw out there. You know, everyone was assuming there's a bunch of zombies out there. He had to die. No, we didn't see him die. He didn't die, and he did in fact come back. Now, one exception would be Lori, and we know that Lori died, right? There was that big scene and big emotional moment between her and Carl had to put her down. We didn't actually see him shoot her. But we heard the gunshot, and then we saw Carl's face, and he admitted, like he said, yeah, I killed her. I had to put my mom down. And then we saw, you know, the big blood streak going from where she was all the way to that big fat walker with the big belly who it looks like ate her. And then Rick, you know, stabs him, punches him, rips open his belly, whatever. So Lori is in fact dead. There's a lot of people thinking that she could come back in season 7. What if she's like with Negan or something? No, if she was gonna come back, it'd be like the episode later, like, hey guys, I'm fine. No, Lori's dead, guys. Get that through your head. So that's my theory. When and if Glenn dies, we're gonna know. Like in the comics, we know that Glenn died. I'm not gonna tell you guys how Glenn died. Go look that up for yourselves. But we know that Glenn died. Also, spoil The Walking Dead. They love to go on set and take pictures and kind of show us what we can expect. They snapped a picture of a new character named Jesus, Paul Monroe, with Glenn, and we have not been introduced to Jesus yet. That will probably happen in the second half of season 6, I'm guessing, maybe even the mid-season finale. But we have not met Jesus yet, so it would make no sense if that was a flashback. And we see Glenn is suited up with Jesus, so I mean, does that make sense that he'd be suited up and filming with this new character if he was dead? No. You know, I mean, that right there is just complete evidence that Glenn is still alive. He's still filming the show. I mean, come on, he's still alive. That's very clear. In season 1, episode 2, we first meet Glenn when he saves Rick from the tank. After that, Rick asked him why he saved him. Glenn said, I'd like to think that if I was in a similar situation, someone would help me out too. And there's a lot of similarities between these two episodes, such as Glenn calls Rick a dumbass, and then, of course, there's zombies hoarding around something that they're eating, possibly as a distraction. In episode 2, it was the horse. In this episode, it could be Nick. So, you know, maybe there could be some similarities between these episodes. They're trying to tie them together. So One thing that I could see happening is somehow Glenn gets in the dumpster while they're distracted by eating Nick, and then Rick comes in, maybe phones him on the walkie-talkie and says, "Hey, you cozy in there, dumbass?" I think that would be really cool if they did that. Kind of little similarities between these two episodes. I think that'd be really cool. So that's one situation I could see Glenn getting out. I think that would be a really cool way of doing it. Also, I don't know if this is really solid evidence, but I like to think it is. In the last episode, we just saw season 6, episode 5. Maggie starts to erase Glenn's name, which shows that she has hope. And I don't think the writers are going to put this in if they're going to actually, in fact, have Glenn turn out to be dead. So showing that, I think that gives Maggie hope, and that also gives us some hope. And hold on, Glenn is going to come back. He's going to be alive. I was really hoping to see a sign from Glenn at the end of this episode, maybe a flare, or have him walk in the gates at the end of the episode. But that did not happen, so it looks like we might have to wait a couple episodes to see what actually happened with Glenn. And I really do hope that they show what happened and not just Glenn walking into the gates. I hope that they show how he got out of that situation. Maybe we'll see an entire episode. Maybe episode 7 will be all about Glenn. Who knows? It could be about how Glenn got out of there. Maybe Jesus saves Glenn, and we see what happens with them too, and Glenn brings Jesus back. We don't know. Just speculation. I want to know what you guys think, though. Put down in the comments, how did Glenn survive that? Or, if you think he's dead, tell me that. I want to know what you guys think. Another thing, on The Talking Dead, the day after, or right after that episode, they did not have Glenn in the memoriam. And they will always have the character in the memoriam, and usually they will have the character on The Talking Dead to kind of explain, how the process went and how, leaving everyone was and how sad it was, whenever. And they would definitely have Steven on there, because Steven's been on The Talking Dead many, many, many times, and when he dies, he will be on The Talking Dead confirming it. So he was not on. They did not show him in the memoriam. I know they took him out of the credits. Everyone's freaking out. Glenn's not in the credits, or Steven's not in the credits. He's got to be dead. He's not dead, guys. Just relax, okay? He's not dead. And the last thing I wanted to say was that in the trailer, they showed the shot of the horde of zombies surrounding the dumpster and Nick and Glenn's body. The writers will never show a death. Well, a main death, I should say. Technically, that is a death with Nick, right? But they're never going to show a main death in the trailer. That's just not smart. So that leads me to believe that Glenn is still alive, and that's not actually his death scene. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope that kind of clears the air a little bit. Hopefully puts this conversation to rest a little bit. Hopefully we find out soon how Glenn survives. I hope they don't just show him, walking into Alexandria. I really want them to show how he gets out of there, because, I've watched this scene many, many, many times, and I just don't know how he's going to get out of there. So that's pretty much it from me, guys. That's my thoughts on Glenn's possible death. I believe that he's still alive. I want to know what you guys think, though. So put in the comments how Glenn is dead, or if he is dead, or alive, sorry. And then, how he gets out of there, or who saves him, what happens, how did Glenn get out of that situation? I really want to know what you guys think. And then, of course, when are we going to see Glenn again? So, hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, a like would be really appreciated. If you guys could subscribe, that would be awesome as well. Share this with whoever, and I will see you guys later. Peace.